Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As I mentioned in my last video, I've been an educator for the past 25 years. My first language is English. While in my country, we have individuals who have been exposed or who grew up using the dialect. This method of instruction at all our schools continues to be standard English. I have had the opportunity to work at two schools. One, a rural school, where the dialect was the predominant language of the students. While I've also had the opportunity to work in a city school, where the mode or the predominant language was the standard English. How do we treat with students of varying abilities, varying language structures? As teachers, there is no one particular method. There is no one particular way or strategy. As educators, it is our objective to ensure that our students develop skills in listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking. This is the main objective of education. That when the child or the student leaves our institutions, they should be critical thinkers. And as such, the program of work is geared towards preparing children for life, or preparing these children or these students for life. At the schools at which I would have operated before, it's a national school, and we teach a variety of subjects: mathematics, social studies, science, integrated arts, and the language program. The language program is further subdivided into grammar, vocabulary, spelling, comprehension, creative writing. So here we have all of these subjects, but the mode of instruction for all of them is standard English. A matter of fact, the standard English is also the mode by which students are evaluated, whether it is in our classroom, locally, or nationally. This is the mode of evaluation, the mode of testing. But we look at the methodology of our teaching. We look at the methodology, the strategies that we use to ensure that students are able to grasp the knowledge. What methods do we utilize? There is no one particular method. For every student is different. Every class, every level is different. Every teacher is different. However, they are exposed to a number of strategies. They are exposed to a number of methods of delivery. There were times when it was believed that students, they come to us knowing nothing. However, that is not our belief. Our belief is that before students come into the education system, they gain a wealth of knowledge from their parents, from their siblings, from those with whom they interact on a daily basis. So when those students, they come into the system, they have already acquired a vast theme of knowledge, experiences, morals, and values. And as educators, we are aware that these students are not, as they were referred to as, tabula rasa. They were empty vessels. They are not empty vessels. But what methods do we utilize? So now that we would have identified that we do not believe that students are tabula rasa, we believe that we use the experiences of these children. We use what they know to take them to what they don't know. We move from the known to the unknown using the experiences of the children. The methodologies may be utilized in different ways, in that it could be student-centered or it could be teacher-centered. Most of the strategies, most of the methodologies that we use at the school could be considered as student-centered, where the teacher acts as a facilitator. The teacher is the guide on the side, guiding the children from the known to the unknown. However, proper planning has to take place. We evaluate the students before, during, and after. Evaluation before is done to ensure that we know, okay, this is where they are. While we are conducting our sessions, we evaluate again to ensure that we are heading along the correct path. And at the end, we do our evaluation to ensure that we would have moved the students from the known to the unknown using the process. So it is important that we identify the strategies. We identify the methods, whether it is direct or indirect, whether it is teacher-centered or student-centered. Another method that we utilize is the inquiry method, where the students take control of their learning. The teacher sets the guidelines, gives the tasks, but the students, they come up with their strategies. They do their research through reading material, through the internet, interviews. They develop their learning. And as a result, at the end, we are able to evaluate them based on what it is they have learned. Production of projects, portfolios, all of these are part of our learning strategies. All of these are part of our learning methods. So these are all the structured and the non-structured approaches to learning. There's always the room for knowing exactly what we are teaching. Checks and balances, as I mentioned in my last video. There must be checks and balances. Evaluation is important, and evaluation may not always be in the form of a paper and pencil test. You have a checklist to ensure that we are looking for certain criteria in our students, and when we identify them, we tick it, we check. We are looking for certain characteristics in our portfolios. All of these are forming part of our evaluation, our method for teaching. But as I mentioned in our last video, the process is empowering teachers as well as now empowering students, making students accountable for their learning as well. And when we can do that, learning becomes more comfortable for students. Learning becomes more appropriate for them. Learning becomes more beneficial for them because they are taking learning into their hands, using the teacher as a guide on the side.